Hi there, welcome back. So today is a quick video. I'm just going to show you some techniques I use to fatten up bass type of sounds. In this case, I'm not sure if it's going to be a bass line or just a bass type of sound playing underneath the lead. We'll see when I finish this track, but right now we're just focusing mostly on the bass. So this is how it sounds when it's finished. So this is a bass sound coming from the Moog, but it could just as well be a bass sound from any other VST like Serum, Diva, Silent, or maybe some of the included instruments here in Ableton Live, or any other DAW. Completely dry, the sounds we have to disable the sends, disable all sends, and we can disable all effects, and we can listen to how it sounds straight from the synthesizer without any effects applied. It sounds like this. So it sounds pretty dry. When I exported it from the synthesizer, I had a cutoff knob pretty low as well, so we don't get a lot of that higher end of the frequency spectrum. So I'm just going to do something about that. So one of the things I wanted to add in the beginning here was a little bit of delay. I'm using two of them, and here is the first one. This is just a regular send, and I'm using the standard delay that comes with the default template in Ableton Live, this one, and I am using around that amount of send. So you get that a little dry kind of echo or delay there. And then I have another send bus here where I use the echo effect in Ableton Live, and in this case it's the preset called Setback in Space. So if you want to find it, you can just go to Audio Effects here, and you can search for Setback, and you can see there you get the echo plugin here. With two echo plugins, it sounds like this. So you get a little space in the bass sound, but not too much. I actually experimented a little bit with reverb as well, but I think that's that's pushing it. Yeah, I added the Valhalla shimmer here. I use it on some other tracks here, but it sounded that didn't really sound that good with reverb. We can try it out. I could maybe go to Valhalla and then do some low cut here. Maybe that sounds better. Could probably help. But I don't really like using reverb on bass type of sounds. But now you get more of the reverb in the high end. Maybe we can have a little bit, not too much. Okay, that's the send effects, a little bit of delay, a little bit of echo, and a tiny bit of reverb, not that much. Now we get to the effect chain under here. We have something called Worm Tube, Mid-Range Fattener, Sausage Fattener actually, EQ8, and a glue compressor, and some fab filter limiting. So I had a goal in mind. I wanted the bass sound to sound a little bit more angry, a little bit more grittier, or more dirtier. And that is why I picked those type of plugins. Using the Worm Tube effect makes it sound a little bit more dirty. So there is without. And here is width. And without. So you can hear that the sound sounds a little bit more angry. You get a little more there in from 500 Hz and up. There is more happening in the higher frequency ranges. And the warm tube effect, you can find that in different ways. You can click on audio effects here, and you can just type in the top here, and you can type warm tube. And you will just find it here under dynamic tube. In addition, I added something called mid-range fattener. That's a saturation plugin included in Ableton Live, and you find it under saturator here. And as I said earlier, you can also just search for the patch name, mid-range, yeah, and you get it under here. And then we add the mid-range. You can hear you get some more there in the mid-range. And then I guess you haven't seen this plugin in a while. It's called Sausage Fattener. I don't do that much in it actually. I have fatness to 0 here, and the only knob I have been touching is the color knob, and it's currently at 59%. And I can play it back and turn it on, and you can listen. It adds some more brightness to the sound. Maybe it's a little bit too much. We can try that. And after Sausage Fattener, I use an EQ. I take out around from 60-70 Hz, and then I boost around 5 kHz just to add a little bit more in the high end there. And then glue compressor just to compress the audio and try to keep it a little bit more under control. And as you can see on the compressor here, it works pretty hard in this case. You can hear that when I turn off the compressor, you get more of the peaks of the sound if you listen here now. And then I turn it off. So that's what the compressor do. It takes off the peaks, so the bass wave file, if you want, is easier to mix into the track. But you don't have to take off too much to remove all of the dynamic range, so there's a thin line to walk using compressors. And I have not mastered it yet. I use my ears. If it sounds like it's all over the place, then I increase the threshold a little bit, but not too much. Okay, so here it's all over the place, I think. But I don't take too much because I have a limiter on the end here as well, FabFilter Pro L2, And this is also just to squash it a little bit more so it fits easier in the mix. I'm not an expert in all of the technicalities behind this, so I am unable to explain deep, I don't have deep technical knowledge, but what the limiter does, it's when you play different bass notes, the volume may change depending on which bass note you are playing, and using the limiter will make the difference much less noticeable because it kind of crunches down the audio a bit. So there we have the bass sound. If I group all of the effects together, disable all sends, and I disable all effects, here is the dry sound. That's the dry sound straight from the synthesizer. Then I enable all sends again. So there you have the delay, reverb, a little bit reverb, and the echo plugin. And now I activate the effect change, or the effect chain, and it sounds like this. And then played along with the melody I have here. It sounds pretty good. Let's try it out. So now we have the classic 4-bar loop. Now it's just a matter of maybe adding some side chain to the bass, obviously do some better mixing, and just finishing up this track. I hope you liked this video. If you do, subscribing to the channel is not only an ego thing, it actually helps in the Google algorithm, liking the video as well. If you want to support what I do, you are welcome to check out my music on Spotify, maybe follow me there. I also have a Patreon where you can, at some tiers, you can get access to all of my music in a convenient Google Drive folder, so that's highly appreciated. I don't really think that much about my numbers on my YouTube channel here, but over 500 subscribers, I never thought that was possible with just showing some trance music or some computer related stuff. So I appreciate you following what I do, and if you have suggestions on videos you want to see that doesn't involve that much money, come with suggestions in the comments below. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye.